whispering entertainment, 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 entertainment. Tonight's video, we're going to be doing something a little bit different with the mock drafts. I've been doing my practice mock drafts on two platforms, Fantasy Pros and Sleeper, and I noticed that running backs go way earlier on Sleeper than Fantasy Pros. So I figured it might be fun to go like 8 or 9 picks deep in one mock draft and then go over to the other site and do another like half of a draft just so you could see how a starting lineup would fill out. Based on if your league mates draft running backs early or draft wide receivers early. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. Also, if you want to be in a fantasy league with me and other people who've watched these videos, leave a comment down below. We have like 9 people right now, so it's definitely going to happen. So I'm going to send out an update for those who are in it very soon. But yeah, so flashbang warning, we're going to a bright white website here. We're starting with Fantasy Pros, because this is what I've done most of my drafts on. Half PPR, 12 team. I'm going to go from the 7th spot, just right in the middle. 2 running backs, 2 receivers, 2 flex. And we're going to see how it ends up. I really want a certain player to be there because... Okay, yeah, we're good. I want to try... not cheat sheets, it's going to be the draft board. I want to try going wide receiver first in both the drafts to really show the difference in running back values. I'm going to go Amon-Ra first here. As for the other picks, Gibbs, Bijan, McCaffrey, Jamar Chase, Puka, and JSN are the 6 picks before me, which makes sense. They're consensus top 3 receivers and top 3 running backs. But I'm going to go with Amon-Ra over Jonathan Taylor just to see where we end up. Because Jonathan Taylor kind of scares me with Daniel Jones' Achilles injury and just the amount of carries last year is a little bit concerning. And Amon-Ra just feels like I just love clicking him because it just feels like so safe, which I know is a trap in fantasy football. No one is truly safe. But good offense was the wide receiver 3, like 2 or 3 years in a row, something crazy. So we're going to see how it goes with a hero receiver build. So after I pick, you have Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, Chase Brown, Saquon, Derrick Henry, and Ashton Genty. So, a large chunk of the second round running backs, and then CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown, and Drake London. So nothing crazy so far. There's still plenty of running backs left, AJ and Hampton Walker. So this is why I wanted to go receiver first, and then get a good running back on the way back around. Like a week ago, I would be all in on Hampton here, but when the offensive coordinator literally tells you, literally says, fantasy managers, I have bad news, it's like, if I take him and he doesn't have the volume, I can only blame myself for that, right? I was literally told. It's tough. I'm worried about Malik Willis not checking it down like Tua, but Kenneth Walker last year was his only healthy year. I don't know. I'll take Kenneth Walker. Tiebreak was if HN has an injury and the Dolphins are going for the number 1 pick, then he might not get to play in the fantasy playoffs because the team will sit him. So I'll take Walker because I think they're all in the same tier. But yeah, so after that, Hampton and Achan go, then Javante at the 212, and Jeremiah Love at the 301. Which is kind of surprising to me. Can I go back to my pick? If I scroll here, you'll see Javante Williams is ranked all the way down here. So usually on Fantasy Bros he's going in like the 4th, which is what I was going to try and show. But, alright, I guess, things change. Walker. Yeah, so Hampton, Achan, Javante, and Jeremiah Love. Then McBride and Bowers go, and Josh Allen. And for receivers, it's Nico, Pickens, Olave, Neighbors, and Rice. So, from here, I don't really want to take Kyron. Or Brees. I feel like Devontae Smith is a wide receiver 1 this year. Should be a good offense. I know they kind of disappointed last year, but they have a new OC. And the talent is all there. Like, look, you could still have Scat. Like, all the way down here. So, I'm going to take Devontae Smith. I don't know these injuries. I don't know how real they are. I'm just going to draft assuming they're okay. And then we have Zay Flowers, T-Mac, Ladd, and T. Higgins. Then a run of running backs: Kyron, Bucky, Jacobs, Etienne, and Brees. And then Lamar. So, Ekbuka, I do know about his injury. Oh, it says should be back to practice quickly. That's not what I heard. I heard that the toe was going to be a nagging thing. But I think we're just going to go ahead and take Scattaboo here. I'm not in love with the Bucks. I'm not in love with the Jets. Waddle's a little interesting. Loveland is interesting in the 4th round, but you have to make sure you get some solid running backs. And I think Scattaboo, ranked 50th, is underrated, so I'm going to take him. And then after I take Scattaboo, you have Judkins, Monty, Swift, Henderson, and Tootin all gone in the early 5th. Then you have Igbuka, Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle, DJ Moore, and Luther Burden. And then Tyler Warren and Colston Loveland both go, which is kind of disappointing. I like to have Warren in the 5th. Alright, so running back, I'm out now. Jadarian Price, I just am a little bit suspect of Charbonnet coming back. I could take Drake May, but I'd rather just get like Jalen Hurts later or Caleb Williams, so I think I'm just going to take one of these receivers here. I'm just going to take Terry McLaurin. I mean, he's a wide receiver 1, sure. Yeah, so only 2 running backs go off the board from that pick with Price and Warren. Then for receivers, it's J-Mo, Devontae Adams, Mike Evans, Christian Watson, and Carnell Tate. Then 3 quarterbacks go: Drake May, Joe Burrow, and Jaden Daniels. But like I said, Jalen Hurts is still here. That might be where I go. This is actually good because this is something I've been struggling with. I really like Parker Washington, and I like Roma Dunze as well with the Burden injury. But I also want Hurts, Caleb, or Herbert. And look, only one team is taking quarterback on this way around, so the odds that that one of the 3 are back here are not that good, honestly. So it's like, I just don't know what to do because it feels like I have to make a choice in this round between a receiver I really like Parker Washington, or a quarterback I really like Jalen Hurts. And I think the answer, I feel like the answer is just take the quarterback with the rushing upside, and then you could fill in receivers later. But I also feel like there's an argument, especially in 6-point passing touchdown leagues, to just leave quarterback for later and get Dak or Trevor Lawrence or even Purdy or Dart, right? but I'm not playing in a 6-point passing touchdown league. I'm just going to take Jalen Hurts. And let's see what comes back. A huge run of receivers and only one quarterback. So I made the wrong decision there. You have Marvin Harrison, Parker Washington, Rome, Michael Wilson. I feel like that's early for Michael Wilson. I like him. I usually thought I could get him later. Anyway, Josh Downs, Brian Thomas, DK, Jordan Tyson. Tyson, I think, is injured again, so I don't think he'd go this early. Then you have Ramondre and Pollard as the only running backs off the board, and then Harold Fannin and Justin Herbert at tight end and quarterback. I don't have my tight end yet. It could be Tucker Kraft. I don't know. He's coming off an ACL. I'm a little suspect of that. We only have 2 running backs. I mean, Juba does have a hamstring. So maybe Jonathan Brooks gets pulled up the board a little bit. I would say of these receivers, I don't know. Honestly, I mean, I like Quentin Johnston more than these guys. It's like he's injured. I don't know how many passing attempts Aaron Rodgers is gonna have. And Dobbins, soft tissue. So there you go. And then Sutton and Godwin, I feel like don't have incredible upside as wide receiver 2s on not like insane offenses. I'll take Jonathan Brooks because I think it's more likely that Johnston makes it back around. And I only have 2 running backs so far. So after I take Jonathan Brooks, Juba goes, then Harvey and Dowdle for running backs. Sutton, Pierce, Godwin, and Lemon all go for receiver. And then for the onesies, it's Tucker Kraft, Sam Laporta, and Caleb Williams. Could I be convinced to take Kyle Pitts in the 8th and then not have to worry about, like, these guys? On paper it sounds appealing, but I'm pretty sure the data is like taking these mid-round tight ends is not good, not any different than waiting. I mean, I like Michael Pittman though. Are the Steelers going to be a very pass-heavy offense? Maybe not, but I do think Michael Pittman fits Aaron Rodgers better than Metcalf. But I mean, Quentin Johnston pretty much outperformed Ladd last year. So I really like that he's so much cheaper than Ladd. I mean, I also like Blake Corum-Kalman, guy, to be fair. But this is a bench player. This is my first bench player. Alright, so I'll take one. I'll take Johnston, and then I'll take a tight end. And then we'll move over to the next draft. You have Pittman, Wandale, and Diggs, so only 3 receivers going. A lot of running backs: Monangai, Dobbins, Corum, Mason, JCM, Gainwell, and then 3 quarterbacks: Trevor Lawrence, Brock Purdy, and Dak. I mean, Kyle Pitts is still here. I mean, sure, I'll just take Kyle Pitts, and we'll call it. I think. Why not? Let's take Kyle Pitts. And let's just auto-draft the rest of this. Alright, B+. Sure. Not terrible. Yeah, but starters only middle of the road. I'm always curious who they have as the best team. They're looking at this: Purdy, Bijan, Monty, Pickens, Waddle, Bowers. Fantasy Pros really likes Bowers on those grades. Pollard and Josh Downs. I end up with Hurts, Walker, Scadaboo, Amon-Ra, Devontae, Kyle Pitts, Terry McLaurin, and Jonathan Brooks / Quentin Johnston is that last flex player. I mean, it's not great. It's not a great team. But, I mean, I like a lot of the players that I ended up with. So, we'll see. Let's jump over to Sleeper now, and we'll see where these running backs go. I'm already here in the 7th, and we're just going to start it right away. So, Chase, Bijan, McCaffrey, Puka, Gibbs, JSN. I'm probably not going to say all the players' names again, but I believe that's the same exact start. Sleeper has Taylor above Amon-Ra. I'm going to take Amon-Ra for the purposes of keeping it consistent. Same kind of guys going here as well. I could take Kenneth Walker again to keep it the same, but I'm going to take Chase Brown because I like the Bengals offense more than the Chiefs. So we get a good running back in the second still that stays the same. Kyron, Jeremiah Love, Josh Jacobs, Brees Hall pulled way up the board. So now you could see Javonte. I know he randomly went early on Fantasy Pros, but really he's ranked down here like 39th. But he's up here now. Like if I wanted him, I'd have to take him now. And same with Scadaboo. Scadaboo's ranked 37th. So I got Scadaboo in the 4th. But on Sleeper, I'd have to take him in the 3rd. Unless like nobody is looking at this, which you might say, well, no, nobody's drafting off of this. But even if you like are like sharp or whatever, you still look at this because it's like you're drafting around both. You have your rankings, but then you also are looking at this to say, could X or Y player come back to me? If it's close, I'll take the one that is lower on this because I think it's more likely I'll get them. So I think site ADP does matter, even if everyone in your league isn't drafting off of it, it still influences your picks. Okay, this is actually a tough spot because, like I said, if I want Javonte or Scadaboo and not have to take like Trevion as my RB2, which I really don't want to do, I'd end up having to reach on Monty probably. I don't really want to do that, but I feel like George Pickens is kind of in a different tier than the other receivers here. I feel like him and CeeDee Lamb are going to be close this year. And the Cowboys are going to be a very good passing offense. I'm going to take George Pickens and see where we end up. So we have Javonte going, a lot of receivers, and Scadaboo, and Travis Etienne as well. So like I said, in Fantasy Pros, you could get Monty in the 5th. He didn't make it all the way to the 5-7, but he was still in. You could try and get him in the 5th. Whereas now it's like I need to take him in the 4th round, which I think I will, because I'm pretty low on these three: Bucky, Trevion, and Judkins. Judkins because of the offense, Trevion because of Ramondre, and then Bucky because they might just go with the committee. Ekbuka is very interesting. Zay Flowers is interesting as well, especially in the 4th round. But like I said, if you don't take your running back now, you could completely miss out. Now it seems like Dooton would be safe if I felt comfortable with him. I think I'm just going to take Montgomery in the 4th round, which may sound crazy, but also it's kind of what you have to do, and that's kind of the point of this video. Montgomery, like going into the draft, you might think, oh, Montgomery in the 5th is an absolute, target that I'm targeting. And then you get to the draft and it's just not going to happen. Let's see what's going on. Quarterback. There's still a number of quarterbacks left that I like. Tight end, we're done with tight end. Warren and Loveland both go before the 5-7. So that's interesting on both platforms. So quarterback and tight end I'm not going to take. a healthy Luther Burden, I would definitely click here. I might just take Tootin as the third running back, and then I don't have to worry about it anymore. None of these guys are really speaking to me. Devontae Adams is 33, age 33 season. That's the only reason why. So sure, I'll take Tootin. You know, maybe he's RB1 in Jacksonville on Liam Cohen's offense. That'd be something that you would want for sure. Quarterback, still 3 left. And you could see Herbert is down here below this kind of line, so I would take the risk on getting Herbert. Obviously, in the last draft, Caleb fell. I took Jalen Hurts here, and Caleb was available here. So I'm going to test that 3 quarterbacks won't go. I mean, Devontae's still here. I feel like in the 6th, you gotta take him, right? Christian Watson is very interesting, but he's also an injury concern. Marvin Harrison, I'm out. I mean, Parker Washington is here. Am I supposed to take Parker Washington over Devontae Adams? It's probably blasphemy, right? But I mean, I might just take my guy. But I mean, look at this ranking difference. But I feel like I fall into that trap. I'll just take the player on the Rams. Okay, 2 quarterbacks go. So now I need to dodge the 7th round Justin Herbert. Okay, so I've gotten the quarterback thing wrong twice, which is kind of unfortunate. Harold Fannin is kind of interesting. I like Fannin a little more than Pitts because not that Shador is better than Tua or Michael Penix, but I think Shador locks in on Harold Fannin more, whereas I think Drake London is way better competition than the rookies or Jerry Jeudy, obviously. Alright, so where am I right now? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So my starting lineup is filled. But I just missed out on that tier of quarterbacks, so I don't want to just take one to fill in a spot. And like I'm saying, I'm not really in on these mid-round tight ends. Fannin is a little bit interesting, though. Is there any receiver I really want? I mean, I like Michael Wilson a lot. I feel like he's just going to outscore Marvin Harrison, to be honest. Running backs, I'm not going in on running backs yet. I'll take Michael Wilson to have a solid bench player. Then we'll see what's going down. Fannin and Pitts are both gone. Monangai and Blake Corum are gone as well. Where's Jonathan Brooks? Is Jonathan Brooks... Okay, he's rated lower on Sleeper. Jonathan Brooks was above these guys on Fantasy Pros, and I might go that direction. I like Johnston, like I said. I don't want to take a 30-year-old off an Achilles as much as talented as Kittle is. Nobody took a quarterback yet. I'm just going to take Jonathan Brooks, and then I'll fill in my quarterback and tight end, and then we can call it a video after that. So now the run of quarterbacks is kind of starting. Oh, wow, I kind of missed out on... Honestly, I should have probably took Trevor Lawrence somewhere over here, now that I'm thinking about it. Where's tight end? I mean, Kittle's still here. Screw it. We'll take Kittle. If I'm taking Kittle, if I were to finish this draft out, I would take a second tight end late, just in case, to cover for the injury. Yeah, all the quarterbacks are going now. I like Purdy in fantasy, assuming his weapons are healthy, which is a big assumption. But we'll take Purdy. Kind of hard comparison to make team for team, because I probably should have taken Jalen Hurts to make it a little bit closer to compare. But now we have, I'll just set it. I'll just set it to auto pick so that this will finish. But yeah, so we have Chase Brown and David Montgomery as our starting running backs. Amon-Ra Pickens as our starting receivers, which we really like. And then Devontae Adams and Bajal Tootin as our flex with Michael Wilson and Jonathan Brooks. I mean, I like the team. Obviously, we're stuck with Kittle and then Purdy, which is actually a stack. I didn't even notice that or do that on purpose. It's tricky. I don't know when to take quarterback this year because it's like, would I have liked Trevor Lawrence or Jackson Dart? Yeah, but then I would have to take them instead of Jonathan Brooks, who I think has like real upside with Juba and his like nagging hamstring injury. So yeah, still figuring out when to take quarterback. But as you can see, George Pickens is massive value because Brees Hall, Kyren Williams, and Jeremiah Love and Josh Jacobs are all going at the 2-3 turn on Sleeper, whereas they're all like in the third round and like the 3-4 turn on Fantasy Pros. So you end up getting George Pickens in the third instead, but then you have to take Montgomery in the fourth to kind of compensate for that. I'm curious what you guys think of Tootin. Do you think taking Tootin over these receivers that are pretty much guaranteed to be at least mid? Tootin isn't guaranteed to be mid. He could be bad. You know, we have no idea. We've never seen it before, right? Would you have taken Loveland in the fourth? You know, these are the kind of things. I think I like Loveland in the fourth, but I only had one running back through the first three, so I think you can't go Loveland there. I like Warren in the fifth, but he hasn't been falling. So, yeah, I think that is going to wrap it up here. If we check it out over here, we get Walker and Scadaboo in the fourth. Now we have to take Monty in the fourth because Scadaboo went where? Oh, just before me, so he still fell to the fourth round here. Let's see. Brees Hall, Scadaboo, Travis Etienne, Josh Jacobs. Yeah, but these guys are all fourth round here. Josh Jacobs and Brees Hall. Jeremiah Love making it to the third. I guess that's the same pick. But you have Josh Jacobs and Brees Hall way up the board, Kyren way up the board. But Javonte falling a little bit. So yeah, interesting stuff. I think the second round running backs, if you're in this late first, are going to be there for you. In the third, I would take Javonte in the third, but not over George Pickens, I don't think. And I think your best bet is finding your running back in the fourth that you're comfortable with as your RB2. Or you could just take Jonathan Taylor and Chase Brown. That's another question. What do you guys think of that? Would you rather just have Jonathan Taylor and Chase Brown? Then you could hammer all these receivers, you know, your Flowers here, or Igbuka here, you know, Burden, or DJ Moore, or Carnell Tate, and then, you know, go that direction. It's half PPR, so Jonathan Taylor could definitely outscore Amon-Ra, so, you know. Yeah, these are kind of the things that I've been struggling with right now. If you can't tell, I'm going to be picking 7th in one of my leagues, and I've been drafting from here. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good night. Thank you for spending your time with me. I'll create a Discord server for the Fantasy League, and I'll send that out. And yeah, have a good one. Peace.